Okay, good morning everyone. Just before we start, I'd just like to thank the Civic Choir for singing outside the chamber today. That was very, very nice and great for this time of the year. So good morning everyone and welcome to the council meeting for the 10th of December, the last one of the year. Please join with me in standing for the opening karakia. Whakataka, te hu, te ru, whakataka, te hao, te tonga, kia mana kine, te tuta, kia maratara, te tai, he heke, he ana, he atura, he ho, he huka, he hahu, he hei mariora. Okay, now just a little wee problem we've got. The sound system down the back of the room, I'm sorry, has got a bit of feedback. There's a whizzy noise in it, so we'll... It doesn't worry me because I can't hear it at all, but I'm just saying for anyone else. Okay. I have an apology.
So just advice on that. There will be some facilities people in during the PX period to try and fix it if we can this morning.
Okay. Right, I have one apology for lateness from Councillor Johansson. I'll move that, and Jake's more than happy to second it. All of those in favour? Aye, thank you. Anyone have any declarations of interest? If you do, or you think you might have going through today, please tell us. Now, we've got a resolution to exclude the public set out on pages 129 and 130 of the open agenda. I'm happy to move it and Sam's happy to second it. All those in favour? Aye, thank you. So just wait a couple of secs and we'll Thank you, everyone. Welcome back. We'll hear deputations to the speed limit changes, reports through item 6 through to item 11. And first up, I'd like to welcome Derek, please. Is there a Derek? Go and walk about. Okay. I know Marie's here, so away you go, bud. Good to see you.
Great. Kia ora, magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Good morning, everyone. My name is Marie Pulisco, and I'm chair of the Waipuna Wholesale Hornby Riccarton Community Board. Now, thank you for this opportunity to hear the submission of the Waipuna Wholesale Hornby Riccarton Community Board on the Kashmir Sutherland's Hoonhay Valley Road speed limit changes. In relation to the speed limit on Sutherland's Road and Kashmir Road, it was originally proposed during consultation to reduce the current speed limit of 60 kilometers per hour to 40. The board did not support this, but suggested instead a reduction of the speed limit to 50 kph and prioritization of the installation of footpaths, as it is considered that this is necessary to significantly improve pedestrian safety. Now, the board understands that the staff recommendation now is to set a speed limit of a combination of 40 and 50 kph along specified areas of Sutherland's Road and Kashmir Road. The board notes that the 40 kph speed limit also will be reviewed following the implementation of a footpath. Now, a 40 kph speed limit is not exactly what the board wanted, as stated in its submission, but preferred a 50 kph and the early installation of footpaths to avoid the double costs of changes to the speed limits. However, should the council decide to set parts of Sutherland's Road and Kashmir Road with a 40 kph speed limit, subject to review following the implementation of a footpath, and stressing that it is important that the footpaths for these roads are listed in the top priority of the new Footpaths Delivery Package program, then this is acceptable to the board. I would like to note, however, that one board member has a different view based on public feedback she has received supporting a blanket 50 kph speed limit. This comes from driver frustration at varying speeds when the road code rules of driving to the conditions always supersedes speed limits anyway, and from concern about further ratepayer expenditure arising from a future increase of the speed limit from 40 kph to 50 kph. In relation to the speed limit on Hoonhay Valley Road, the board supports the proposed reduction from 60 kph to 50 kph. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Marie. That's right, very clear. Thank you that's good. Thank you. As I see, is it you, Derek, down there hiding? No, he's not a Derek.
We've got Adele.
Okay, thanks, Marie. Adele, please. Thank you very much. Welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name's Adele Jarrett, and I'm the Secretary for the Hallswell Residents Association. We support the reduction of the speed limit in those areas, and you'll see we took a bunch of photos. So you'll see, I'm not sure how to click through them, sorry. I assume they'll just go, it's this one here, sorry. Okay, so this is the area around Kashmir Road. You can see there's no footpath on either side of those roads. This is the intersection of Kashmir and Sutherland's Road. The footpath ends well before the intersection. I'm really great with technology, you can see that, so my apologies. You can see cars parked, so they're blocking the any side of the road that people would have to walk on, which of course they need to park there, so because there's nowhere else to park. The perfect footpath to nowhere. That's also the corner of Cashmere and Sutherlands Road. This is just by the quarry, just past the quarry entrance, going up Cashmere Road. Nowhere for people to go on either side. Same section of road, just a little bit further over. And that's the other side of that intersection with the footpath to nowhere. So you can basically see from those photos, and I'm not the best photographer, but you can see why we support the reducing of speed in that area. But we do believe that having footpaths in that area is really important. And if the footpaths were instated, we would probably be more than happy with a 50 kilometre speed limit. But definitely the way it is now, we think a combination between 50 and 40 based on safety of pedestrians and cyclists is a great idea. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Timothy?
Hi. Hey, is your Residents Association aware that if the speed limit drops, and I'm supporting 50 right through, but with the submissions, almost every submission mentioned the need for footpaths. But if the speed gets dropped, the priority for footpaths drops as well, which wasn't really identified.
Yeah, we're sort of aware of that post our submission,
Yes.
but we still think that if you had a blanket 50 in that area, particularly in those areas where there are no footpaths,
Yep.
that it is going to be dangerous. And there are thousands of homes in that area, and lots of people are going to the quarry regularly. So, we would have to say we would prefer the reduced speed until a footpath is in place.
Thank you.
Thank you, Adele. It actually certainly brings it crystallised to light for a number of councillors, I'm sure, that we've got to get our act together and get these footpaths built where there are none. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is Derek here? No, not yet. John, please.
John Rice.
Yep.
That's me.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you for the opportunity to present.
Thanks for coming in.
We'll just skip past this slide. I'm sure you've all read it. My background's in civil engineering and project management. If we could flick onto the map, please. Oh, I do that. This way? Yep, backwards. Something's not quite right. Is that the arrows I used?
Yep.
There we go.
go.
I generally agree with the speed limit reductions. I just thought I'd present this map, and it just seems to me that the priority is all wrong. You seem to have a priority on Sutherlands Road, which is a very straight piece of road. It's got low development on either side, as you can see. The bits of Sutherlands Road on the other side of New Hill have already got footpaths, whereas the priority should be on the curved hilly sections of road, which are from the quarry to Sutherlands and from Kitchener's Knoll Road in the Redmond Spur development. Have I got a pointer? Maybe not. Through to Barnfields Close in particular. At the top of the hill there are many sections, residential developments, old ones that have direct access onto the road, and also some new sections that have direct access onto the road. And I think that section should also be considered for a 40k limit rather than a 50k limit. I guess that's my main point, is I think the priority here for footpaths and for speed limit reductions is all wrong. It should be on the hilly sections of road, and the emphasis should be on the safety of cyclists and pedestrians. The previous lady had some really good photos of the, I'm going on too long here, no, doesn't work. I'll just go on from that slide, I'm not going to read all that. Yeah, as you can see, now back. You can see here on Sutherlands Road, it's really straight, there's great visibility, and there's a really wide berm that's regularly mown by the adjacent landowner, where people can walk and run. So where are the safety issues? Why is the priority here on a footpath? I don't think it's there. I think it should be, I'm getting myself all mixed up here. On this section of the road, which the previous lady was talking about as well. I mean, while I was there and took that photograph, there's a cyclist, a typical situation where a car's going up the hill, it's got to slow right down anyway for the cyclists, and lots of cyclists use this road. Moving on to the Kitchener's Knoll to Barnfield section, another hilly section, a little bit wider, but look at the berms, really maintained, and I've seen runners regularly run on the road. And with a 60k limit in particular, it can be quite dangerous. And you can see the top of the hill, very poor visibility, and see the cars parked there, and those are the residential developments that have direct access. So I think a 40k limit would be justified here. Here, people in Redmond Spur and cyclists regularly come down Hewers Lane and cross here, which is just below the curve. And I think this particular crossing, which is convenient and pleasant because you're walking in the subdivision most of the time and there's a footpath on the other side of the road here going down the hill. But the crossing is a little bit precarious. You've got to take particular care, and I think a 40k an hour limit here would really enhance safety. You can see another cyclist there. They just happened along, and that's just looking back up the hill. How's my time?
You're right. Carry on. Yep.
Okay, I've probably taken enough time, and I've made my summary points in the last slide, so I won't go through those and save you time. Sorry?
Okay.
I've got a minute? Oh, well. Okay, I'll go through the slides if you like. Oh, you got any questions, anyone?
Yeah. Yanni, please.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for your detailed presentation. Are you aware of the Southwest Area Plan and the roading improvements that were proposed as part of that?
No, I'm not. I'm just aware of the speed limit changes. That was the thing we submitted on.
Sure. Okay. Thanks.
So are you planning to widen?
So the plan was that there would be a new arterial road, and Cashmere Road would become a local road.
A local road?
Yeah.
Which means?
Sorry?
I didn't understand what that meant.
Effectively, when we did the area plan for the Southwest, there was going to be a consideration of a new road to take traffic off Cashmere Road.
You're right.
And a new straight road that was going to link between, the parts of Cashmere Road.
I don't think
You're confusing things there, Yanni, I'm sorry to say.
Okay.
Andre, for clarity.
Thank you. Cashmere Road is the obvious bigger danger in needing a path.
Right.
So the reality of the Cashmere Road path is work has only just more recently started into investigating doing that, but there's a whole lot of complications with retaining wall needed. There's going to be a whole lot of other work needed, whereas the Sutherland's Road could potentially be done. They could potentially start work on that over the coming months because all they need to do is the path part. So.
Right. It doesn't really need it though. There's a big wide berm, it's regularly mown.
The community around there would dislagree with you because there's people who use it every day with
they've got
path.
two accesses to Te Kura wetland.
Well, they disagree.
Yes.
So if you could convince them they don't need it, would be a way of laughing, but it won't be possible.
Right.
But doing the same thing to Cashmere Road over the coming months would be a physical impossibility, I guess is what I'm saying.
You mean the bit from the quarry to?
Because there's so much work that's now being required.
There's a huge amount of work, and that's why that's a real priority for speed reduction, for sure.
So what I'm saying is that work is underway, but Sutherland's Road path will still be needed. That's certainly the view of the hundreds of homes there without path access, but that can be done over the coming months. Cashmere Road cannot. The work is still underway.
Thank you, Andre. No, that's good. And I think there's no question that the Cashmere bit's certainly more of a priority.
Yes. Both sections of Cashmere, they're both hilly.
Yeah, absolutely.
You've got the same issues for cyclists. I mean, cyclists love riding that section. I mean, you see whole pelotons coming past on the weekend.
Thank you
so I think
very
you
much.
need to think about safety first, and of pedestrians and cyclists. And a lot of people didn't submit too.
Fair comment. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thanks for
so
coming
you've
in,
got
mate.
to think about them as well.
Good on you.
Okay. Cheers.
Okay, is Derek here, please? Nope. Righto. Who else we got? Nikki here, please. Where are we? But early. Danny. Diane. Is anyone here?
Is anyone who hasn't submitted here? Harrison.
Yeah, but he's not.
No, he's not here.
He's not on this. Oh, Fox is here. Yep. Thanks, Fox. Now, Fox, are you doing one straight after another, or
Yes.
so okay,
Something like that. I'll probably combine them because I don't really want to go around in circles twice.
okay?
As
Yeah,
much as
because
going
20
around in
minutes
circles
is
is my
20
sport.
minutes is quite a long time. Far away.
Okay, cool. Gosh, where do I start? I would like to agreeing with what John just said about Cashmere Road around Kitchener's Knoll. As a cyclist who rides that road myself, it is very narrow and it is very scary when cars come up behind you at 60 and then suddenly slam on the brakes. If they are going to slam on the brakes, maybe they don't. So, yes. Gosh. Okay, so Cashmere, Sutherlands and Hoonhay Road. I'm just going to combine myself and Spokes. They're both basically the same. If I couldn't even find my own personal submission for some of these. I would really like to see consistent speeds. It's really confusing when you're like, it's 50, it's 40, it's 50, it's 40, it's 50, it's 40. People just go, oh, fuck it, I'll just go, sorry, excuse my language. I'll just go 50 the whole
Carrying
time.
on.
I'll just go 50 the whole time because they can't be bothered. So, yes, it's narrow. Yes, there are bits without footpaths. Footpaths aren't going to solve the situation for cyclists, especially along Cashmere Road. It's just going to make it safer for one and not the other. Shared paths don't make it safe for pedestrians. They make it dangerous for pedestrians. We like separated infrastructure here. So please make it consistently 40 for as much as you can under the legislation. It would make it safer for everyone and more consistent for drivers who don't have to go, oh, which one is it? And my car's not smart enough to tell me which one it is. Some people's are, but some people's aren't. Gosh, I wrote all these notes, but now I don't even know if I can say them. I really don't want to see you wasting money on a separate consultation down the track to go, oh, now that we've put the footpaths in, let's raise the speed limit back to 50. I think that's a total waste of money. People will get used to the new speed limits, just like they finally did in the central city. Just keep it 40. Don't bother doing another consultation to raise it back up again. The current travelling speeds tell you that people don't go 50 anyway. Holy moly. All right, let's move on to the next one. Te Kaha and Southeast Central, let's kind of combine those two because they're basically the same. Yes, we're disappointed that we can't get the 30, but please do the 40. The variable speed limits is incredibly expensive and it doesn't make it safe all of the time. It only makes it safe during events. So for cyclists who are using Chewham Street, when the cycleway stops being protected and you continue on Chewham Street, you've just got a painted line. It's not good enough. We need safer speed limits. Occasionally I actually drive my car, surprisingly. And I went up and down Madras and Barbados recently just to see what it's like. And everyone's going 40. It's the sensible speed to go. It's what traffic allows. Just make it 40 all of the time. And for that reason, you should also extend the 40k as big as you can. Why is it inconsistent? On like Madras, it starts at Morehouse, and on Barbados, it only starts at Hereford or something at Chewham Street. Just make it as big a block and as consistent a block as you can for the above mentioned reasons. Consistency is key. And also include things like Cashel Street. Like we've got this gap where you've got all these streets proposed, but not Cashel Street, and it's so bizarre. And for that reason, the South East Central, you should extend along Hereford and also include Gloucester and extend all the way to Fitzgerald. As big, as wide as you can. You've got schools. You've got Christchurch East School on Gloucester Street. Why not include them? We've got Catholic Cathedral College on Ferry Road and Barbados Street. Why not include them? Udder. Huge number of people biking and walking to Udder. Please make it 40 all the way around Udder. And St Asaph Street, where you've got all these nighttime venues, and Showbiz Christchurch and all these other venues, just please, it's safer. If you can't provide separated infrastructure, at least make it slower so it's safer and more consistent. And then it's not just like, here's 10 metres of 40k zone between the 50k zone and the 30k zone, which everyone ignores. Gosh, let's rattle through them. Okay. I don't know if that time is for 10 or 20, so we'll just keep going.
That's the first one of the two you've got. So
okay, cool.
You practically got the rest of the day.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic. I mean, I was called for like 10:50, so you know. I mean, I just hope that you've read my submission, and there's so much there. I really just want a huge 40k zone wrapped around the 30k zone, if we can, because of the huge number of pedestrians. And like narrow streets like Armagh Street, cyclists use that heaps because Gloucester Street's too fast and other streets are too wide. Armagh's nice and narrow, and it goes from 30 to 50 to 30 again. Makes no sense. Please make it sensible. All right, what have I got? You've got the smoke submissions there. The Anne wrote. Anne's sorry that she can't be here. She's away at the moment. Are there any questions on that? No, I should probably keep going. Sorry. I had all this stuff prepared to do, and then I was just like, you know what, there's too many words on this piece of paper. I will talk briefly about Norwest Arc. Okay, so I live in this part of the city in Herwood, and people will go, what's the point of a 40k speed limit? You've already got a separated cycleway. Well, I tell you what the point is. Drivers entering and exiting properties don't want to hold up the traffic behind them. They would rather risk hitting a cyclist because, oh no, I can't hold up the traffic behind me. It's 50k zone. I have to race across this cycleway. No. If you make it 40, they feel less like they're holding up traffic because everyone's going a bit slower. They can respond a bit faster. They can respond in a shorter distance. Make it 40 so people can enter and exit their properties without hitting a cyclist. I've had so many close calls with drivers racing to get across the cycleway because they can't see past the parked cars, and they're just so worried about holding up traffic. They are more worried about holding up traffic than they are about the lives of cyclists. They literally do not care. And the same for pedestrians. They don't even know how to give way to pedestrians on the footpath. Antigua Suite, obvious, make it 40. Yeah, cool, awesome. Waimakariri and Whitchurch, okay, again, local to me. I bike this way all the time to use the Johns Road underpass. Fantastic facility which goes almost nowhere. Please make this slower. Like 50, the whole length of Waimakariri Road. Why do we have Herwood Road at 50 and Waimakariri Road, which is narrow, quiet, has a footpath, has cyclists on it, at 60? Makes no sense to me whatsoever. Please make it 50. Make it make sense. Okay, and then make it 40 during the, or 30, whatever it is during the speed zones, when the limited speed zones are in for the school, again, which most people ignore. But that corner where you're expected to cross the road to get to Whitchurch Place is super dangerous. I don't cross there. It's not the sensible place to cross, and thankfully the new crossing eventually will be in a better place. But it's, yeah, super dangerous if the car's going 60. So please make it slower on Waimakariri Road, the whole length of it. Gosh, I've rattled through that. I'm going to let you have 12 minutes of questions. How about that?
Okay, Yanni, please.
Thank you for taking the time to make submissions. Do you think we should just do 40k within the 4 Fs so it's easy, concise, people understand it?
Yes. Right. Yeah, especially when it borders onto a 30k zone in Phillipstown, a 30k zone in just around Stanmore Road, a 30k zone here. It just makes no sense to me. Like, yes, there are high pedestrian numbers, and the slower you make it, the more likely people are to bike, scooter, walk, catch a bus. All these things are more accessible when it's not a 50k racetrack.
Right.
Thank
and
you,
it would just be easier for people to comprehend what the actual speed limit is and a reduction in speed if we just had a simple, clear message, 40 within the 4 Fs.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Second question from me is, and I appreciate you may not be able to answer this on behalf of Spokes, but I was really interested in your Love to Ride data that's been provided in the Southlands Road, Hallsville area, Cashmere area. There's also a Southwest area plan which has got a whole proposed section on cycleways. Have you done any looking at the cycleways infrastructure in this area and what the gaps are? Because we hear a lot about talking about reducing the speed limits, and I get that that's our conversation for today, but a lot of that's focused on making it safer for cyclists. I'm just wondering if there's other things that we should be considering.
Yanni,
like
this
the
is just about speeds in this area. It's not about cycleways, which one day I'm sure will come. But this is just about speed
Yeah,
in the area.
except we've had a plan for like 20 years and we don't seem to know what's happened to it. Okay. So.
Okay, thank you, Yanni.
If we can't get a cycleway, please reduce the speed. That's the number one thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Fox, for coming in.
All done.
All done.
Sweet. I'm here to schedule even more. Look at you go.
Okay. Good on you. Thank you. Right. Have we got Nikki, please?
Good morning, everyone. It is very rare to have the opportunity to make submissions again on the same topic. Thank you for the opportunity. It is really helpful to have this cost-benefit analysis prepared by the council as part of the consultation documents, and I'll refer to this evidence in this submission. I'm appearing on behalf of Carter Group, and we continue to make submissions because we, along with many others, have contributed to the post-earthquake rebuild of Christchurch, and we care deeply about the city and its future. We do not wish to see our central city experience the same challenges facing Auckland and Wellington. The demise of Smith & Co in Auckland and the business closures in the Wellington CBD are tragedies, and all closures would have been death by 1,000 cuts. Closures result in job losses, they take away livelihoods, and they create decay in the surrounding areas. What I hear most from retailers and agents across the country is how good Central Christchurch looks. The comments are then very quickly followed by a comment about how important it is that the commercial heart of the city is accessible, including by motor vehicles. The commercial reality is that businesses cannot survive without people being able to easily access those areas in which those businesses are located. Therefore, I'm asking you please to listen, to make sure the city is easily accessible by motor vehicles, and make the decision based on evidence. Traffic congestion by council design needs to stop. It is pure madness. Our submission is that the speed limits for all streets where a 40-kilometre speed limit is proposed should remain at 50 kilometres. The speed limit for Litchfield Street between Manchester and Madras Streets should remain at 30. The reasons we are submitting that the speed limit of 50 kilometres should be retained on the streets where 40 kilometres is proposed are: Madras and Barbados Streets are major distributor roads, and these roads are designed to promote north-south travel across the city. There is no justifiable reason using this cost-benefit analysis that the 40-kilometre speed limits can be imposed. The changes can't be due to safety concerns given the low number of crashes on the affected streets. The proposed Kaha speed limits together add nearly 30,000 hours of additional travel time per year. These additional travel times add inefficiencies to our traffic network, and these inefficiencies add waste and cost to our society. Again, this is madness for many reasons, including when we are living in when cost of living is a concern for our communities. The reasons we are submitting that the speed limit of 30 kilometres should be retained on the portion of Litchfield Street between Madras and Manchester Streets are: the consultation paper says that the 10-kilometre speed limit should be implemented because it is classified as a civic space. This can't be a valid reason. In the 2022 Have Your Say document, I cannot find any reference to the street being reclassified as a civic space. And in the minutes from the Finance and Performance Committee from 28 June 2023, I cannot find a resolution to reclassify this road as a civic space. I understand civic space is a term used by NZTA's One Network framework, and that framework has no legal standing. How can a classification in a document that has no legal standing be used as a reason to implement a 10-kilometre speed limit? If it is used as a reason, it is reclassification by stealth without any proper consultation. The second reason is that the cost-benefit analysis says that the average speed for the 10-kilometre speed limit is 16 kilometres. This is an average speed above the speed limit and demonstrates this is nonsense. How ridiculous to have a 10-kilometre speed limit how ridiculous to have a 10-kilometre speed limit when it's expected that the average speed will be 16 kilometres per hour. There is no discernible safety reasons for the change to be implemented. There have been only 2 non-injury accidents in this part of Litchfield Street in the last 5 years, and accordingly the speed limit is not being implemented for safety reasons. A change to the speed limit in this part of Litchfield Street would add 7,800 hours of collective travel time a year to this section of Litchfield Street alone. Finally, it was reported in the press that TomTom's data shows that it takes longer to travel 10 kilometres in Christchurch during rush hour compared to other major New Zealand cities. Again, this is pure madness for a flat city of our size and population. We operate on a grid traffic system, and intuitively, this should make our network more efficient, not less efficient. The ongoing changes to the road network add time, cost, and inefficiencies. For too long, there have been changes to our city streets, for instance, Gloucester Street and Park Terrace, without proper process and without considering the costs, benefits, and wider impact on congestion to the city. Given the cost-benefit analysis that has been included with the consultation paper for the Te Kaha Street speed limits, I ask each councillor to follow the evidence and keep the status quo for speed limits on the streets around Te Kaha. Thank you.
Thank you, Nikki. Tyler had his hand up way early, even though we're over time. Go for your life, mate.
I'm actually all good. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for coming in.
Thank
Good to
you.
see you. Right. Now, who have we got now? Danny? Please? Good on you, mate.
Morena.
Morning.
Koto. Presenting on or submitting on the Barbados Street and Southeast Central neighbourhood changes. So my submission was in support of reducing these speed limits to 40 kilometres an hour, and that includes the both areas that were consulted on, mainly because I think Ōtautahi is becoming such an amazing city, and I moved here from Wellington because it was becoming an amazing city, and part of that is making it a city for people. It can definitely improve. I never expect perfection. I do expect the council to show leadership, and when that comes to a range of things like giving people real choices for getting about their city, because some days it makes 100% sense to get in your car. I own a car, and that's cool. It makes 100% sense for me to get on the bus sometimes. Sometimes it's 100% sense to use the YY Express and walk, and other times it's 100% sense to ride a bike. I feel that while these speed limit changes are impressive and I am for them, I also think there are gaps missing around a pedestrian network in our city to make it more walkable, which I know is one of the City Council's wider goals. And if we can tie that in with other things like some cheap, quick cycling infrastructure with some hit sticks down the side of places like Barbados Street that can be done quickly, create jobs, and give us some space to move people to go shop at our increasingly impressive city centre, I think Christchurch will keep getting better and more people will move from Wellington and Auckland, which also gives you a higher rate space. So I'm in support of those changes to lowering it to 40, especially now that places around the stadium have some wider footpaths and they're nice to be around, and a bit of native tree planting's going on as well. So I'm definitely for this. I also think in a bigger picture setting that we can give people real choices to get about our very impressive city.
Thanks very much, mate. No questions? That's good. Thanks for coming in. Brilliant. Now, we were ahead of time. Is Derek here? No. It's all right. No problem. Next one. Diane, please.
Before I forget, Merry Christmas to everyone.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks. Right, there's some pictures up there. Okay, so now you can see the completed portion of the Aorangi or Northwest Arc Cycleway. You can see they have completely separate areas there. And I want to address the 5 advantages of the lower speed limit. So first, the safety benefits for all users, but especially cyclists. Why cyclists need special treatment, I'm not sure. And there was somebody else who mentioned that everybody has their own lane to travel in, but the problem is crossing when people coming in and out of driveways. And I can agree with that, but I've met ladies terrified of coming out of their driveways because they're terrified of hitting a cyclist. So not every driver wants to hit cyclists. Most of them don't, because it wrecks their car. Anyway, somebody could travel at 30K along the street and have a heart attack, or some other thing happen, and they could cross that nice bit of greenery there and into the cycleway, and it has nothing to do with the speed, but it has to do with the medical condition. So number 2, it says it aligns with the approved road layout. Well, this road has existed for a long, long time, and I'm sure that the way they've changed the road, it's not exclusive to 40Ks. It could be 35, 45, or 50Ks and still be fine. So number 3, expected to result in 0.3 fewer non-injury crashes each year. Really? If there were 100 non-injury crashes on this section of road in a year, this would equate to 0.3% of a non-injury crash. So this is really a meaningless statistic. And a risk surveyor will tell you that lack of visibility and inattentiveness are the biggest cause of accidents, not speed, unless it's excessive speed where somebody loses control, or low speed and someone has a heart attack. So number 4, it's the part of the original resolutions. So just because it was part of the original resolution doesn't mean it was a wise decision. Number 5, supported by the majority of respondents, and I do not contest this at all, that the majority of respondents probably said this because the majority of respondents were probably part of a special interest group and said, please respond to this. The point is that most ratepayers do not know about these consultations. Most ratepayers are busy working, trying to make money, to pay their rates, to pay their mortgage, to put food on the table, to pay rent, and so forth. So they don't know about this. And most respondents that know about these consultations don't believe or have confidence that you guys are listening or pay attention, so they don't bother. So they think I'm an idiot coming in here and talking to you guys. Sorry about that. And the majority of residents that I've talked to, they think it's insane to spend $100,000 to put signs up that say 40K, which may or may not lower the speed limit and may or may not prevent a 0.3% of a non-injury crash. So, and it's not about the extra 10 seconds of traveling time, but about drivers looking up, not looking down at their speedos, and drivers mentally engaged with what's happening and not mentally distracted by the speed hump and going through their internal rant of the bloody council and another bloody speed hump and blah, 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 waste of money. So cyclists, scooters, pedestrians will all have to stop and look both ways before crossing a road, just as cars have to stop and look both ways before crossing a road. And so just because a road says it's 50Ks doesn't mean you can actually do 50Ks. And already drivers are driving to conditions. So on Aorangi Road, they're driving to the conditions. So when there's cars around, people, cyclists, or, anyway, that was just showing the potholes and the chip seal that already had to be fixed on that part of the road. But there's more scooterists that are using the road, or the cycleway, that I've seen at this point in time. So yeah, anyway, you've had a good look at the photos there, and I have a lot more to say, but not a lot of time. Everybody just has to be more aware, pay more attention, use their eyes, their ears, not go around with ear pods in and so forth. They have to be more aware of their surroundings.
Thank you. Thank you, Diane. That's good. And we've got time for one question, and it's Melanie.
I was just going, you said people are driving to the conditions in Aorangi Road, so I was wondering how would you describe their driving, like in terms of their speed?
So I couldn't hear.
You said that people on Aorangi Road are driving to the conditions, so I was wondering what speed that is resulting at them driving in.
Well, I don't have one of those police speedo gun things, so I can't say exactly, but I know when I drive down that road, I'm more cautious because it's much more narrow. There's parking mostly on one side, but occasionally on the other side of the road. So, and you know, you're just sort of unsure. And then, yeah, so I don't know. I mean, there's always going to be idiots. There's always people driving too fast, but most people are concerned. Most people don't want to have accidents of any kind. I have family members that cycle. I have friends that cycle. I used to cycle. So I'm not anti-cycle way, cycle lane.
Thank you, Diane.
Thank you.
That's good. Okay, now, just in case Derek has popped in, maybe? No, I think we've given up on Derek. Sorry. That's great. We've got one left. Is Jeff here, please?
Jeff, is that me?
Yeah.
How we going, team?
Good, mate.
That's good. I'm just asking ChatGPT because I did a count around the room. I said if there were 24 people in a meeting room and the average salary was $100,000 and everyone worked 40 hours a week and 52 weeks of the year, what's the average rate in the room? So what are we spending at the moment as a council? Oh, I never know if it's true or not, but it says $1,100 an hour, so I reckon that's cheap. I think it might be a lot more than that. Anyway, thanks for having me. Congratulations to everyone who's newly elected. Look, I've come here I've come here to ask you to stop. This is about the Antigua Street speed limit thing, right? You don't need to do this. Here's the thing. I spend most days in and out of my office on Antigua Street. I don't know, I'm 4 or 5 times a day I'm driving in and out seeing clients. The most dangerous thing that happens daily on that street is e-bikes ignoring red lights. I like cycle lanes, for the record. I use those all the time. I don't have a problem with the fact that you put a cycle lane in. In fact, I support them. But it doesn't mean that I can't see the truth about what's going on within the cycle lanes and not on the road itself. You see, for me, the biggest risk to pedestrians is e-bikes because they go so fast and it's often difficult to tell how fast they're going. And in my experience, cars do not drive down Antigua Street faster than e-bikes. I want you to remember that you have spent a significant sum of money on traffic calming measures down that road. And the result of that is that traffic is calm and it's not going fast. So I did have a question, because I know that in your reports there was a number that said that the average car travelled at 36 kilometres an hour or something along those lines. I assume that report was done before you put the traffic calming measures in. And I haven't seen in anything a report that's been done subsequent to that to find out what the traffic is now doing. Is that true? Like, is there a number that says we now know what the current average speed of cars is now that we've spent however many millions of dollars?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
Okay. Truth be known, I don't actually care what the speed limit is down that road. The reason is that no one's speeding, so it doesn't make any difference to me. I don't speed down there because I don't want to destroy my car going over speed zones. So my issue is, you seem to have no evidence of a problem. You don't know what the current speed is because we haven't measured it. You don't know what the pedestrian movement will be on the eastern side of Antigua Street because we don't know how many people are going to walk down the eastern side of Antigua Street to go to the new sports centre. In reality, I don't think anyone will because there's no parking on the eastern side of Antigua Street, so in theory, there's no reason for anyone to walk from that side to the other side. I also noted that one of the submitters who supported the 40 kilometre an hour speed limit pointed out that the street has a crash record of 11 pedestrian on cyclist accidents and 3 serious injuries involving a car in the past decade. I mean, 3 car accidents in a decade doesn't feel like a reason to go and spend a whole lot of money, especially given you've just spent millions on traffic calming measures. So my opening statement was, please stop. And what I meant by this, please stop, is to please stop the culture of spending our money unnecessarily. You simply don't have a problem to solve here. Your staff gave the following reasons for recommending this. It's the closest option to the original council resolution and aligns with the recently installed physical road layout. That doesn't sound like someone solving a problem. That just feels like oh, well, this is what we do. Another reason was the improved comfort for pedestrians within Central City, particularly when large numbers of people travel from surrounding streets and parking locations to events at the Recreation and Sports Centre. I'm not sure what you mean by improved comfort. It's quite a wide footpath, and between the footpath and the road is a cycleway. You couldn't get any further from the road. I feel comfortable, and if you're a large group, it's likely you've come in a bus, and that bus is parked on Morehouse Ave, and they've gone straight into the centre. The other one was, while vehicle travel times are expected to increase, the effect is small, 2 seconds. I put to you that that's meaningless. No one cares. And relatively low cost is the last one. Relatively low cost and no requirement for further changes to road markings or layouts. So I'm going to come back to that relatively low cost. What it's missing is...
Sorry, Jeff, how much longer you got, bud? Because we're right up with time. Thanks. Carry on.
Trust me, I won't be long. Currently, what your reasons don't include is currently the average speeds are X, and this will bring the speeds down to Y. Other options, disadvantages, there are no estimated crash reductions and small additional capital costs associated with changing speed limits. Look, the point here is we're looking for cultural change from you, the council. You will probably continue the process of spending money on problems that don't exist because that seems to be the culture. You will argue that the majority of submitters supported this request, but this will ignore the fact that you didn't need to open up the issue to debate at all. And given that you have not proved you have a problem to solve, if you do approve this, can you please do me a favour and pass an additional resolution that kindly asks staff in the future to never use the phrase relatively low cost or small additional capital cost. Every dollar matters to an elderly person living on a fixed income. These may be tiny, small additional costs, they all add up. And if you don't have the mindset that staff using language like relatively low cost is a sign of cultural overspending, then you're misreading the room of the New Zealand public. The government stepping in to force a reduction in rates rises is because we see the excess every day and we do not buy into the line that everything is caused by inflation. We have all adjusted our budgets to reflect the new normal, and one of the things we don't do in our businesses and in our personal finances is use the term relatively low cost. We simply don't need it, we don't buy it. So, in closing, all I ask is you think about the term, was there any evidence that you had a problem, and therefore, do you have the courage to look at this and go, we don't need to spend this relatively low cost? Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff.
No problems.
Brilliant. Okay, I'd like to thank all our deputation speakers, and before we turn to our staff reports, I'd like to welcome Mahina Henry Campbell, who I had the pleasure of mentoring this year as part of the two-year program. We are a bit ahead of time. She might not be here. She might be outside. Okay. Yeah, no, she's... Yeah. Yeah. Mahina works out at Punawai. Yeah, not Nahoiva, Punawai, and she does an absolutely fantastic job. Here she is. Hi, mate.
G'day.
Come and tell us how good you are.
Kia ora everyone. Tēnā koutou katoa, ko mahinarangi tōku ingoa. He uri ahau no kaitahu, ki te puna I ahu mai au, ko ngai tō ahuriri tēnei te mihi aroha kia koutou. My name is Mahinarangi Henry Campbell, and I am fortunate to serve as the Operations Manager out at Ngā Punawai as City Council staff, out at Ngā Punawai Sports Hub. This year, though, I had the privilege in taking part in Tuia, a rangatahi Māori leadership kaupapa supported by the Mayor's Task Force for Jobs. Tuia is a year-long journey grounded in 3 po: wānanga, community contribution, and mentoring. Each year, councils around the Motu nominate a rangatahi Māori to participate and be mentored by their mayor. I was grateful that Phil had committed his time, energy, and openness to supporting me throughout this haerenga, giving me insight into his role, his responsibilities, and the range of projects and challenges this council navigates. I wanted to share this experience with you all today and also present Phil with a small taonga from our kaupapa as a gesture of appreciation. Tuia began 15 years ago. Many of its past participants are now influential leaders. At our first wānanga this year in Pohara Marae in Waikato, hearing different stories was incredibly inspiring. Throughout the year, we attended 5 wānanga held at different marae, each shaped around the well-known tau parapara. Tuia I runga, tuia I raro, tuia I roto, tuia I waho, tuia te here tangata. A reminder of how we weave connections above, below, within, outside, and with people. Our rōpū included 45 incredibly talented rangatahi Māori from across Aotearoa. Their passions were wide-ranging. Some were fighting for the taiao, some active in political spaces, some inspiring the next generation, some first language Māori speakers, and some have never stepped foot on their own marae. There was no one version of leadership. What we shared was being Māori and being committed into stepping of the next version of ourselves. It's quite hard to articulate the exact outcomes I gained. Much of it arrived through reflection. I've been quite ponderous since our last wānanga. What does leadership look like to me? What truly remarks progression? A title, direct reports, speaking roles? Where are my spaces to act Māori, think Māori, and be Māori? What I do know is that I left feeling deeply inspired. The aspirations in that room were rooted in protecting people, communities, environments, and tradition. In many ways, those intentions mirror the roles that you all hold here at Council. Across our city, across your wards, there are rangatahi holding powerful ideas, aspirations, and knowledge. The next generation of leaders is already here, and the potential that they bring is extraordinary. So I leave you with this challenge. Where can you empower rangatahi in your own communities? What does holding the ladder down look like for you? Are you working with rangatahi or simply consulting them? How can Māori and non-Māori rangatahi have a seat at the table and not just a voice in the room? And what does genuine empowerment of young leaders mean in practice? For me, Tuia has been life-changing. I feel like I'm only beginning to understand exactly where my leadership can thrive. But I know it grows in the best spaces where it can be nurtured and woven amongst existing structures of good leadership. Soon you'll see many of us, the next wave of leaders, sitting around tables like these, making decisions for our communities and for our people. And we will remember whether we were given meaningful opportunities to contribute to the future we will soon inherit. We want to inherit a strong world, strong enough to keep weaving above, below, within, outside, and together. Mō tātou ā, mō ka uri a muri ake nei, for us and our children after us. Just to finish, I want to thank Phil for his support of me in the kaupapa this year, and I'm really excited that we're growing that to support 2 rangatahi next year as well. I'm glad that we've had the opportunity for reciprocal learning, from practicing the pronunciation of parakiori to co-starring in some trendy TikToks.
I'm here to help.
This hoodie was designed by some members of my Tuia cohort and represents the journey and values of the kaupapa. I wanted to give this to you as a reminder of the wide collection of rangatahi Māori you have impacted through your belief in Tuia and what it creates. Ngā mihi nui koutou, have a restful break and enjoy the new year. And this is what the hoodie
Thank you, Mahina. I've had a fantastic year as well. Right, come down.
Hopefully it fits.
Look at that. Look at this. You want to take a photo?
Oh, yeah.
Hey?
Two, one. Half shot. 3, 2, 1. Perfect.
All right, mate. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
So much. See you later. Thank you. That's very good, very good. We have no further public participation, no petitions, so we'll have a quick tea break. Sorry, Ike and Glenda, have you just come in to talk to us, but we will be back here at 11:15, please, for our staff reports. Thank you. Okay, thank you everyone. Welcome back. And we'll now turn to item 5, plan change 13 and 14. And Tyler has kindly moved it, and I'm more than happy to second it. So I'd welcome Ike and Glenda. I think it's pretty clear what has to happen. Is there any questions of Ike and Glenda? I didn't think... Spoke too soon.
Sorry, just a question. Are we able to separate out Antonio Hall and Desbury? To do it separately? Or do we have to do it together?
This, correct me if I'm wrong, Ike, this is administrative more than anything else, is that correct?
Yeah, I think that's a good way to describe it. Effectively what we're seeking is for the Minister to streamline his decision making insofar as that those features will no longer exist in the district plan.
Mm-hmm.
So in all honesty, there seems little benefit to separating them out because the effect, again, will be nothing because it won't exist in the plan. So we want to ensure that the Minister is focused on the outstanding alternative recommendations, which is still for the Pico character area, which has been with the Minister for the last 12 months, and we'd like to see PC14 complete.
Okay, that's very clear. Pauline?
Just clarifying that this is not the opportunity to revisit a decision we've already made on Antonio and Desley.
Absolutely.
Yeah, which I think is what Councillor Johansson was getting at. Thanks.
Okay, so that's more or less questions. Is there anyone want to have any discussion on it or any debate? Yeah, far away, Tyler.
No, I just wanted to say you be Yudi. I'm happy. Chuff. Thank you.
Onward and upward. Okay, so we've got our little toy voting machine here. Yes, sometimes my mouth is ahead of my brain. Okay, so here we are. I'll open the voting now. Thank you. Okay. Yep. Aaron and Kelly. Aaron's done. Kelly's doing. Oh, good. Thank you. That's closed. Thank you. Look at that. Absolutely brilliant. That is carried. Thank you. Thank you, Ike.
Thank you.
Thank you, Glenda. I told you it'd be quick. Right. Now, where am I doing the... I'm doing the standing orders thing, aren't I? Where's that?
I think you do
Yes.
let them present first.
Yeah, I'll just... Right.
And then standing orders after they've done the
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Righto. We'll now move into our speed limit changes department, and staff have briefed their presentation, so Jacob and Crystal will be there. If the meeting wishes to suspend standing orders consistent with Standing Order 3.5, is everyone happy that we do that? Because what I want to do is we'll have questions on every single one, then we'll have one debate, and then we'll vote on every single one. Otherwise, we'll have debate on every single one we'll be here for the rest of our life. So, does that make sense? Okay, so... Is that right? Okay, everyone happy? Righto. Well, we need 75, and you've dipped out, sorry. We need a vote on that. So is all those in favour of suspending standing orders consistent with Standing Order 3.5, please say aye. Aye. Against? Thank you, that's carried. So we're now suspended standing orders. So we've got cash. So come up, please. Yes. So we've got Cashmere Sutherland's Road. I'm happy to move option 4, and Andre is happy to second that, I believe.
I'm keen to move the resolution that myself and Councillor Scandrett have sent through to staff.
You do it, yeah, absolutely.
Which is essentially what you've mentioned, but with just 2 notes in addition to which should show up.
Yes, so Andre and Tim are moving and second that. Any questions of this item of the team, please? Right, Tim and then Tyler.
just double checking on behalf of my colleague and I that this it's not going to affect the priority of the footpath in the area.
The amendments that you were putting forward wouldn't change the priority. I mean, the one thing I should add is no, it'll keep the assessment in the same way. So there may be other footpaths that come in that are assessed higher, and we can't stop that. But it means it doesn't drop down the priority list by virtue of the fact that the speed limit's dropped.
Right. Is that good with you?
The additions to the resolution should just show up in one moment. But in short, it's a blanket 50 everywhere, plus 2 additions. I'll read.
So yeah, so this
there they are now.
Yes, you've moved that, and that's the amendment that you've put up. So I'm just going back to just questions on this one of the staff for the presentation on this one.
Yes, just be aware that the staff have prepared a presentation on these if you want to walk through that, or if you
would
just
you like
want
to do that?
go straight into
Okay.
questions.
Far away, ladies and gentlemen.
Am I up?
Yes.
Can I put it on the screen? Have I got a clicker? Oh yeah, here we go. Wonderful. And it's working and everything. So most of you will have seen this before. I know there's a couple of new councillors, so just to quickly recap where we are. The setting of speed limits rule came in October 2024, and while it was at that time pitched as this rolling back bulk changes, one of the things it also did was mean that any speed limits that you had approved either through the previous council bylaw or through the setting of speed limits rule 2022 that hadn't been installed no longer stood. So if you wanted to keep any of those decisions you'd already made, you had to go through this new process. There's quite a lot to that process. One of the big things that was pulled up in one of the deputations this morning was about the cost-benefit disclosure. I want to be really clear on that. That's a cost-benefit disclosure statement. It's not a cost-benefit analysis. It follows very strict NZTA rules about how it's done. It doesn't look wider at wider benefits. So you should see it in that context. You don't have to follow it, but you can do, but you have to take it into account in the decision you make. That's what the law says. So that's why it's up there. In here, all the options we've put up, we believe are compliant with the rule, and therefore you can select those today. What I'm really wary of, and I want to make really clear, is that if you pick other options, you potentially can't select those today, either because they're not compliant with the rule, or because you haven't had the information supplied to you, or because you haven't done the consultation. So if you suddenly decide you want to, I don't know, make a bigger area 40 than we've said, we haven't done the analysis, we'd have to go and reconsult. So if you want to come up with something different, you'd probably have to lay it on the table, give us an instruction to go away and do it. We'll find out the information, potentially do the consultation, and come back to you again.
So what you're saying is we can vote one way or another on the options, but don't play around and make the option areas bigger or smaller or play with it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And that's one of the, sorry. So it's a really relevant question, because one of the deputations this morning was about making an area 40 along Cashmere Road. I don't know if that's technically possible. We haven't actually looked at it, but one thing I do know is you haven't consulted on that, so you cannot make that decision today. We would have to go away and reconsult on that if it's something that you wanted to pursue.
Please okay? Carry on. Please carry on.
All right. Sorry to labour that point, but it's really important. I think I won't spend too much time on this, but the area here is all 60. You can see the context around it. It's grown around there quite a lot in the last 5 or 6 years, and that 60 sort of stands out. Even the state highway in that area is 50. So it does feel like it's becoming a more residential area, and that's why we're bringing this report to you on that. The South East Central Neighbourhood and Takaha Streets, I've put those up. When we initially came to you a few months ago about this, we talked about the Takaha Streets, and then we talked about Worcester Streets. And one of the feedback a bit of feedback that we got from you was about how that creates an incoherent speed limit area. So we then consulted on 2 extra bits of street, which I put in there, so a little bit more of Barbados and a bit of Hereford, so that you then create this bigger 40 zone. So I think, I'm not telling you how to do your job, but I would bear those 2 reports in mind and make decisions on them, thinking about them in the whole. Because I think otherwise you could potentially end up with quite perverse outcomes there. MCR Northwest Arc, I think, is quite straightforward. It was initially 40. We've had to reconsult. We've reconsulted, and that's the area. Antigua Street is much the same. It was said to be 30. We can't put in 30 because of the rule. We've reconsulted on 40 as you instructed, and here we are. The Waimakariri Road and Whitchurch Place is the last one and probably the other odd one. When the hearings panel for Wheels to Wings made its recommendation, it recommended that that area was 50 with a 40 variable for school speed limits. We can't put in 40 variables, but we can put in 30 variables under the rule, which is what you voted for in August. So we now have a 30 variable during school speed travel times, during school travel times, but you've got Harewood Road at 50, and you've got a change between 50 and 60 in the middle of that school variable zone. So if you actually go out there, there's a 60 zone, there's a 60 sign in the middle of the 30 variable, which is quite confusing. And either way, we'll change that, but this is trying to make just that little corner a little bit more consistent and coherent. So that's what's up in front of you. I'll pass to you.
Cool. I won't go into the submissions too much because everything's in the reports, but I just wanted to cover off high level for you. The reports there that are identified in the light green are obviously where the majority of submitters are in favour of all the proposed speeds. The darker green is where most of our submitters were in favour, and then of course the red one there is where we had the majority actually not in favour for some. And I just wanted to address the reasons why submitters said they weren't in favour for the Cashmere, Sutherlands, Hoon Hay was particularly around the need for footpaths on those roads. So we had 126 comments about footpaths, which is quite a lot. And we also had a number of submitters talk about how they would be okay with 50-kilometre speed limit on those roads, but not a 40. So there was 43 comments in that nature.
And then the last slide is hopefully just to make it a bit easier. So that's the 6 reports, that's all the options that you've been given. The bits that are highlighted in yellow are what we consulted on. So then you can see that what the feedback is being given on. So hopefully that just helps you in the decisions you're making.
Yes, so I've got 3 questions, Tyler, Nathaniel and Pauline.
Kia ora, guys. Just referring to the options on here. So the yellow is what we consulted on. Option 1 across are the ones where you're based it off submissions or there's been significant support for the recommendations that you've had at the top. I'm just referring to Cashmere Sutherlands there. So you consulted on option 3, where it has it in line, but the majority of the submissions wanted option 1, just to be clear.
No, I'll let you speak to consultation.
So for consultation, we consulted on, let me just bring it up.
Because I was under the understanding that they just wanted to keep it at 50, but I might be wrong.
So there was a number of submitters who wanted to keep it at 50. So 43 made comments about keeping the speed limit at 50 throughout the whole sort of area. But there was, so we did consult on some of the 40s and there was support for some of the 40s, but the predominant support was around changing from 60 to 50 rather than 60 to 40.
So there are specific references to 40-kilometre zones in hotspots, which people talked about quite a lot. But in general, they were looking at 50 blanket across those roads. Great.
Yeah. And so the recommendation we've made is trying to limit those 40 areas to just where there aren't footpaths, and therefore there's the greatest risk.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Nathaniel, please.
Yeah, just on the South Central and Te Kaha. So because they're connected, I'm assuming that the whole will be cheaper than the sum of the parts. if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's yes, it would be a little bit cheaper.
Yeah,
yes,
would it be quite a bit cheaper because we're basically moving those exits to a further point?
Yes, I mean you'd probably lose probably 2 signs, I would think. So
it's not a huge amount actually.
No.
Okay, good to know. Thanks.
Thank you, Pauline.
Thank you. Mine's on Antigua. So when we redesigned Antigua Street to make it cycle pedestrian and car friendly, we had in mind that the speed zone at that point would be 30, and now we're recommending 40, but we've had a deputation to say, well, why bother? Because of the design is actually making it prohibitive to do anything more than even 50. Do we have any legal requirement to mark the speed to align with our street design?
No. The reason we've brought the report to you is because we recommended back in August that we didn't consult, and you, as council, the council decision was that we reconsult on that as a 40, so we've done so and brought the report back.
Yep. So we have no obligation to actually put
No,
sign it.
no. If you leave it at 50, that's perfectly reasonable and a legal thing to do.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, got you, Tyler. Yanni, please.
Cool. Thank you. So you said a lot of submitters made comments on footpaths, and I see some talked about cycling quite a lot as well. So I'm just trying to understand, like, it seems that we can't really separate the conversation around speed limits from the provision of footpaths and the roading network. As such, I'm really keen to understand what looking we've done at the Southwest Area Plan around the types of transport improvements that are going to be made to cycling, pedestrians, and the roading network to get safer outcomes, given that that's kind of the focus of the submissions. Is anyone looking at what we've currently got on budget for the Southwest Area Plan and what projects we have to improve safety?
I think that would be assessed as part of the LTP. It's not a...
Right.
This is about dealing with the issue we have in that area at this moment.
So in terms of the consultation then, did we approach the steering group for the Southwest Area Plan to get their feedback? Do we have feedback from the steering group as to what they support?
No, we haven't, no.
Okay. And how, like, I'm just trying to understand, like, how we can sort of do these things in isolation around land use planning, putting a whole, lots of housing, but then have this kind of debate about where footpaths that aren't there should be going, and then seem to have no plan that residents can understand other than changing speed limits. Is there a gap in our process?
We're only talking about the speed limits at these.
Sorry, there's multiple submissions that talk about do the speed limit if there's not a footpath. If there's a footpath, don't do the speed limit. Like, that was, like, so many people in the submissions have talked about safer pedestrian and safer cycling infrastructure relevant to the point around what speed limit should be set. And I'm just trying to understand, like, how do we address those concerns so that people can see what we're doing?
We use the new footpaths programme. So Sutherland's Road and the north-eastern end of Cashmere Road are already in the new footpaths programme, as the councillor confirmed earlier on. And the other bits are being assessed. And then, just for clarity, the section between Sutherland's Road and the quarry, we're looking at the sort of early planning and early scoping, because there are some pretty significant structures I think we would have to build in that area. So it's not something we could just roll off the shelf.
It's not an easy one.
And so just so I'm clear, in terms of the decision on the speed limits, is there any plan, in terms of the plan to build the new road and turn Cashmere into a local road, is there any plans in place to do that, or is that not happening?
Not at present. There's no way through. At the moment, there's a private piece of land, and there's no way a road could go through there at the moment.
Thank you, Yannick. Now, just to put a line in the sand, I'm going to actually say to Katie, I'm going to move, and Sam's happy to second, number 7, option 3, number 8, option 2, number 9, option 2. Just say, because then everyone's got a line in the sand, they can go with it, not go with it, whatever.
Gets attention.
Okay, so Katie, where are you?
Do you mind if I make one more point? Sorry.
Oh, you still
An opportunity to comment later, you just get them down on
It's about the resolution.
Option 10. Oh, sorry, item 10.
Yeah, no, besides that.
No. And item 11. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So, Katie's going to have to build all that in, but we've still got questions, and Melanie's got a hand up. And Jack.
I'm going to foreshadow the staff rec on all the ones you just did.
Okay.
I'm gonna.
Okay.
Who's
so,
seconding?
Yeah,
I'm gonna
hang on,
foreshadow
everyone.
the Southwest Area Plan Implementation Plan.
The next question is from. I got you, Tyler. Aaron.
I've got a couple of questions around South Central and the Te Kaha streets. Firstly, in one of the deputations, Nikki Carter stated that it increases traffic by 30,000 hours a year. Did you traffic vehicles? Well, cars, vans, buses, SUVs. But do you agree or disagree with that statement?
We haven't done any analysis. It follows NZTA's rules around how that cost-benefit disclosure is done. Sorry.
So the cost-benefit disclosure statement is using an NZTA tool that they have created. It is just inputting all the different speeds that we've got from TomTom, and then it generates those numbers.
Yep.
So yes, those numbers that are in the cost-benefit disclosure statement is following best practice of doing that.
So the 30,000 hours increase is accurate-ish? Approximate?
Yeah. We haven't done it for the real, since it's been installed. In terms of the speeds, as you can see in there as well, that the operating speeds is already below the 40 k's an hour proposed speed limit too.
You're good, Aaron?
Yeah, right. Yep. So, well, just because in point under climate change impact considerations, it says safe speeds contribute to emissions reduction, but 30,000 vehicle hours travelled is 22.5 tonnes per 1,000 hours. That is a lot of emissions.
Yeah.
So you get more emissions, but slowly more emissions. No, there's.
Is this going to help inform people's decision?
Well, so I'm just questioning that.
We've got no statement on that. I mean,
You can't. To Nathaniel's point, I don't think you can run an engine for 30,000 hours and have no emissions.
No, that's true. That's true. The information we've given you follows the process that we have to do to change speed limits, and that's the information you've got. So you
thank
so
you.
and then
you take that into account when you make your decision.
My other one is, what happens when there's events at the stadium, especially the large ones, which bring lots of people, is the idea of them. What's the traffic management plan? Are all the streets open as per normal? Are there changes? Is there traffic management in place? Are we going to chuck out some cones?
I don't know how to work the machine, sorry. Through the chair, there will be briefings on that in the new year, and it will depend on what is planned by VO and how it is worked through. But we are working through with VO and all the stakeholders in relation to that at the moment. It depends on the event, it depends on the expected traffic patterns, it depends on a lot of things. So there will still be temporary traffic management plans in place for events.
Right, so the need for changing the speeds is not there if we have, because that's the point of a temporary traffic. You got an anomaly in transport movements, so you bring in a temporary plan, that's the idea of it. So that deals with the issues around there being lots of people on these streets. Yeah, goes out the door.
Okay, thank you, Aaron. Right, Mark, please.
Thank you. Just picking up on one of the submitters, he showed us some photographs around the Cashmere Road area, and one of the problems was overgrown verges not being maintained, therefore runners having to go on roads. Is it possible out of this process to get some extra maintenance on those verges to make them more passable for the pedestrians?
Sorry, councillor, that needs to be a ticket. It's not relevant to this decision. We'll deal with that through tickets.
Okay.
So when you have those issues, they need to be logged as a ticket through the system.
So you want us to go out there and photograph it and send it out? Yeah, look, all I'm saying is I've got a photo here that's got long grass and people have to go on the road. Can we get it cut? It's not that hard.
Councillor, it's a maintenance issue and it will get dealt with through the tickets.
Okay. Marcus, you done? Right. Tyler.
Kia ora, guys. I've got a few questions. The first one is around the car movements per day. So off the top of my head, we've got Barbados at 16,000 per day, Madras at 13,000 per day. Can you please tell me the other ones that have major arterials on it? Are they in the 10,000s for the major movers? I'm thinking like the Barbados's.
So it's in the cost benefit disclosure statement there.
Yeah.
But yes, the only ones in there are Litchfield is sitting at 6,000.
Yeah.
Litchfield East is sitting at 770, and then Duke Street's at 70. The rest of them.
770.
Yeah.
Okay. And we have options here. One of the obvious contentious ones, as usual, is the 10-kilometre speed limit. Is there an option for the 40-kilometre plus a 30-kilometre on the Litchfield Street West? Even though I know that no one's going to go 30k down Litchfield Street West.
Sorry, say that again.
So we've got three options here.
Yeah.
So you've got 40k plus 10.
Yeah.
You've got 50k plus 30, but there's no 40k plus 30. Is that allowed? Is the question?
Yeah, to me.
Hang on.
Because if it's existing, then therefore it's just status quo, don't need to change anything, but we could still change 40, correct?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes, I think, yeah.
Yep, okay, great. So then if we're thinking about finding middle ground, of which I'm really disappointed that the movers didn't look at that, I'm wondering if, since we've put aside standing orders, Phil, I'm wondering if we could try and find some middle ground to try and get some answers on this, because that was a sort of no surprise. It was a surprise to us. I think there might be able to be some collegial options to be able to find some resolutions within this once the resolutions are popped up through Katie. Because otherwise you're just going to have your resolutions and then maybe probably the staff rec, which Mel's moved, and then nobody's happy. Which option? All of them, the ones that Phil's recommended.
Think about,
so once the resolutions are popped up, Phil, it would be cool to see them. So maybe we can find some middle ground before we vote on it.
Oh, absolutely. We might have 5 minutes chitter chatter.
Great. Yeah. Because we've got a mover and seconder, so you might have to retract it in order to change it.
Okay, Pauline, please.
Yes, the submitter, Jeff, was asking if there was a current speed assessment on Antigua Street, and if so, what is it? Do you know?
Since the new layout's gone in, no, we haven't done traffic counts on there yet.
Right. That's a shame.
Thank you. Melanie? You done? Yanni?
So the idea that we just have one blanket rule of 40k throughout the 4 Avs, if we wanted to do that, what's the best way to do that? Recognising that I did raise it in our briefing when we had on this.
It's not part of what's in front of us today, is it?
For all the streets. Like I said, at the time, we're trying to manage projects where you'd made a decision, but that decision can no longer stand. And that's all we're trying to manage through these reports.
So,
we're not trying
to... but just trying to understand, like, if we wanted to look at 40k across the 4 Avs, just as a blanket rule, we would have to go out for a consultation.
Yeah.
And we'd have to... And what's the information? Well, we have to do, basically like you've done for each of these streets, we'd have to have that information in the proposal.
Yeah.
And how much work would that be to do that?
Quite a significant amount of work. The other point, sorry, that David keeps pointing at me, is that the rule is quite prescriptive around where you're allowed 40s and where you're allowed 50s. So we would have to then judge which are normal urban streets and which are quote unquote urban streets with the significant levels of pedestrian and or cycling activity, because they're the only ones where you're allowed to put 40.
Okay, so if I looked at the map that you had right at the start of your presentation, I don't know if you can bring that back up, please.
I think we're too busy trying to get the routes in the...
Oh, okay. So basically, I saw the Latimer Square, Madras Street, goes up to Hereford Street at 40. It goes around the corner, Worcester Street, Gloucester Street, and then up, and it's 50. So I'm just trying to understand. Like, it seems completely illogical where you've got a significant crossing point on Worcester Latimer Square. You've got the hotels, the high-density residential that's been built, the children's playground not too far away.
Mate, we're out of... I know you're going to keep talking, but we're out of... This is out of the scope of what we're talking about, isn't it?
Well, we just got the presentation at the start to say to look at this in the context of both of these areas. So I was just...
I'm the chief.
I was just trying to understand why we didn't look at that area as part of this, and whether there's any other work being done to look at that area.
Yeah, thank you. Carry on, rewardless. Aaron, please.
Yeah, just on the blanket speed for consistency, do we have to consult to make the entire Linwood Ward 40k an hour?
You would have to, yes.
Right. Now, so, should we do debate?
Shall I just explain where we're at in case anybody's confused? So these are the 6 reports that you've got in front of you. Can you hear me? 6 reports, look down them that way. So what we have is, in the report, with the recommendations, the Mayor has made a motion and it's been seconded by Councillor McDonald for 4. And we have a foreshadowed motion by Councillor Coker, seconded by Councillor Cotter for the yellow one, which is reduced to 50, number 3, which is the staff recommendation. The next one, number 4, the Mayor has motion is to leave at 50, and we have a foreshadowed one to staff rec. Te Kaha Streets, the Mayor has a motion on the table to leave at 50 with 30k on Litchfield Street, and a foreshadowed motion, which again staff rec. MCR, the Mayor has a motion to leave at 50 with a foreshadowed motion to change to 40. Antigua, Mayor, leave at 50, foreshadowed motion to 40, and both the motion, we just have one motion, which is for the Waimakariri to change to 50 and no foreshadowed motion.
Just one, that all sounds really good. I think on the first one though, it was Andre and Tim that had moved a particular one. Yeah.
And they've got a small amendment
and some stuff. Yeah.
To make things a lot clearer.
Apologies, so
okay.
That's good.
So can I just clarify, you need a seconder for Antigua? You got a seconder?
No, that was seconded, I thought.
I seconded all but Antigua.
Oh, okay, so...
Right,
Thanks.
hang on. Yes, everyone's waving the arms around. We've got Tyler, and then Yanni, and then Celeste.
I've just got a question for Councillor Coker, if she'd be open to, for the Te Kaha Streets, even though you're passing staff rec, I'm not sure if it's in order, but change to 40 kilometres, but status quo for Litchfield Street West at 30 kilometres. It can be because we won't make any changes to it. It's already 30 kilometres. So only change 40 kilometres on the Te Kaha Streets. Leave Litchfield Street West as is.
Do we want to have 10 minutes to sort this out amongst ourselves?
I don't think we don't need 10 minutes. This is just whether she's prepared to...
Okay, is that like a double foreshadowed? Because we've got, we've got Phil's alternative, then we've got your foreshadowed. I'm not sure where we stand in the process. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we need to take a vote.
So, yeah, we're just working on that with the team because we're throwing a cat amongst the pigeons a bit here.
Right.
All right.
So it would need to be another foreshadowed motion.
Okay.
So we'd
I'll
have
foreshadow
the-
that option.
So we'd put the mayor's motion, and if it was lost, we'd go to the foreshadowed one by Councillor Coco.
Yep.
Coco. Coco. If it was lost, we could then go to yours.
Okay, great. Yep, I'm happy with that.
All right. Thank.
Which that was item.
That's the Te Kaha streets, 40 and 30.
Yeah. Okay, you're good, Toles. Yanni, please.
Yeah, can you just clarify in regards to the Mayor's recommendation on the Southeast Central, the leave at 50 means that Worcester Street will be left at 30, or will it be reverting up to 50?
Up to 50.
So, okay, is that an option that we can do?
Worcester Street is currently 50. So if you vote against the staff recommendation, it goes to 50. Or it stays at 50, I should say.
Oh, okay, so
yeah,
we don't have the 30k on Worcester Street yet?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay, thank you. And Celeste, yeah, all done. Now, we should just go into debate, I'd imagine. Or do you want a break to have a yarn? Right, what we'll do is we'll go into debate, okay? And we debate the whole lot. Open slather, go for your life, and see you in 3 hours. So,
Can I just...
But we'll vote for each of them separately.
exactly,
Yep.
exactly. Mm.
You didn't want 3, you didn't want.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your patience. This is good. We've Katie's up to her neck in it here, so that's good. So we'll have debate on the whole lot. If you want to, just go for your life. Who would like to do this? Timothy.
Thank you. I want to thank Andre to get where we have with our areas, because it is our area, because Cashmere Road goes through both of our areas, and with the true, actually, I'd like to apologise, Melanie. Oh, Auntie Coco. And there's more and more issues with people that they will not run on the grass because they injure themselves. They will get and they walk on the grass. We've built these amazing Te Kura wetlands, which they have to walk on the road to get to. It's bloody ridiculous. So I'm so pleased that we've come to a common sense point, and I hope that at some point we can extend it to Cashmere Road, true, where it meets Henderson's Road, etc. So we've got a lot more work to do in there. And with Antigua Street, I can only commend Jeff Bone for coming here. I drive down there almost every day, and there is no way you can exceed 30 k's. It's, you know, and those humps, I love them because it makes sure people can't go over 30 k's. With Te Kaha streets, I don't know why we're looking at this. Every large event that we have had in this city for last 40 years, which sadly I have been involved with, has had traffic management. There is no question about that. And I can remember way back in the day, public walking across Brown Street to get to Opawa Road, to cross Opawa Road, to get to the railway lines, to cross the railway lines, to then go to the traffic management. No one cared about the public crossing Brown Street. No one cared about the public crossing Opawa Road. But they did care, and it's quite right that they do put traffic management around Lancaster Park. Electric Avenue has traffic management. Christmas in the Park has traffic management. Everything big has traffic management. To to suggest that we put electronic signs is totally ridiculous. If you want to spend 320 grand, put some footpaths in our area. That'd be bloody good. So I'm going to support some of them, our one, and also the 50Ks around Te Kaha and Antigua Street. Thank you.
Okie dokie. Who would like to be next? Ooh. Pauline?
Look, interesting. It's quite, in my view, it's quite sad that we're doing this all again anyway and costing the ratepayer money. But I'll be supporting the foreshadowed motion, obviously being seconder, except for Antigua Street, because to me that deputation made a lot of sense, and I agree with Councillor Scandal. You can't go over 30 anywhere on there, which our street design and the money that we've spent on there is actually serving its purpose really well. So that's where I am today. Cheers.
Okay, so you're right, Katie, to put this. Oh no, she's still. Do you need a couple of minutes?
Would you like 6? Are you ready for 6? Item 6.
Yes, please. Yes. If you need a couple of minutes, let us know. Don't panic. Yep. Be very clear. Yeah. Yes, option 4. Yes, for item 6, option 4.
With the addition.
With the what Tim and Andre put in.
So do people want to take a moment to read that? So
And to summarise the notes, they basically mean that lowering the speed limits to 50 won't impact the prioritisation of footpaths along this section yet.
Okay. Right. So sorry, Katie. If I say go on this one.
we'll just get the whole motion on screen so you know what you're voting for.
All right? Yep. Okay. So, yeah, I'll open the. Sorry, Katie.
No, you're good.
Okay. I'll open the voting on number 6. Yeah, and that is option 4. Okay. There we go. Celeste, are you? Don't you tell her what to press. Real good. Right, the voting is finished on that one, item number 6. So that's brief. Thank you very much. Brilliant. Okay. So we'll now go to item 7, which I and Sam and I have put up item 7, option 3.
No, you need to know all the wording. So
Yeah, the wording is important.
unless those folk could quickly print off the table.
So you mean the wording?
Formally. That very quickly. Official wording. Yeah, I know.
Okay. Happy?
Item 7, option 3.
Item 7's up there. Item 3, as you can see on the board behind me. So I will open the voting for that. All good?
Yes.
All good, thank you. Voting's closed, and we have, thank you, that's very good. Thank you. Right, next one. Te Kaha surrounding streets, option 2. That's number 8, option 2. So we'll just wait for a sec for Katie to... Sorry, I've thrown all this at you, Katie.
That's all right.
This, yeah. It's instant.
Yes, this is option 2.
Item 8.
Item 8.
Item 8, option 2. We'll open the voting on that. Yep. Yes, yes, there is. Yes.
Last whale on side. Jake and Tyler.
Oh, really? I'm sorry.
All good, thank you. Voting is closed on that one, and that is approved. Thank you very much. Number 9, option 2.
So yes, this is now item 9, option 2, as on screen.
Thank you. So you've got that item 9. So I'll open the voting on that one, please. Thank you very much. Voting's closed. Thank you very much. Everyone's getting the hang of it. So that is approved. Thank you very much. Right. The next one. Antigua Street, item 10.
Item 10, option 2.
You've got the council well in the red.
So this is, as you see on screen now, item 10, option 2.
Item 10, option 2, Antigua Street. I'll open the voting on that. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Voting's closed. That is approved. Thank you. And I think I might just do item 11 as yay or no, because the staff rec and what I said is the same thing. So all of those in favour of option 11, staff rec, please say aye. Aye. Against, thank you, that's carried. We will need to... Yeah. Okay. So we need to put standing orders back in. Do I need to move in that? Right, so I'm happy to move standing orders comes back in, and Pauline is certainly happy to second them. All of those in favour? Aye. Against, thanks, that's carried. We're now right to item 12, and Jake told me yesterday that he's more than happy to move this, and Pauline's happy to second it. And all those in favour? Aye. Against, that's carried. Brilliant. Now we're up to item 13. the circus thing at Parakiori, yeah. Melanie is happy to move it, and Andre's happy to second it. Okay, if we've all read it from cover to cover, is there anything you want to add, gentlemen, at all? Any questions of anyone down that end of the room? No. So I'll put that motion, all those... Oh, sorry, Pauline, yes.
Well, I think we'd all agree that we're going through Te Kaha and we've seen the facility, Te Kaha. Parakiori, the facility there is outstanding, and it's a shame that it's needed this little bit more money, but it's great to be able to provide that because the benefit's going to be incredible. They haven't really had a fit-for-purpose home for quite a while, as far as I know, and the talent that we've got in this city for circus arts is amazing. So I'm really, looking forward to seeing what comes out of this training facility and maybe some good shows at the Buskers festivals coming up. Thank you.
Sorry, our app seems to be going all over the place. Because it's saying that we've approved stuff that we haven't even voted on. It's got other resolutions on it.
Sorry, thank you. Sorry, everyone, I didn't have a microphone on. We are now going for the Chief Executive recruitment. It is just an update. So, who's the chair of that?
You.
I know. Just put you in the picture. We're going out very soon, if not already, to find out who the company is that we will pick. We'll go out and put it out to companies to decide who will be the company that does all the work. So maybe, hopefully, that will go out before Christmas, but this is just an update of letting you know where we're at. Yep.
Is that something that's going to be like publicly advertised, or is it going to be...
Oh, it will be.
Yeah, right, good.
Why do you want to apply?
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Yeah, good boy.
I'll take that one. Yeah.
Okay, so, yes, Andre.
Are you able to please just remind me what sort of timeline you're looking for? We've got a long-term plan coming up. Like, what's timeline you're hoping for? Timeline? That's not what timeline means, Tim.
Here we go.
So the timeline that the committee discussed was actually go to market for a recruitment company that wouldn't probably get a RFP back till early next year, and then the recruitment could start from there. But there'd be some time that the committee would need to work with the recruitment company to get the right approach to it, and also the right position description, those type of things, which would all come back to council.
No, I was wondering if there's a time we're hoping to have one by, and I can't recall when the current contract ends.
The current contract, is it mentioned in the report, it ends in June.
Okay.
Okay, good question. So we vote on that? Could we just... I'll move it, and Sam's seconding it. Oh, no, okay. Sam. Right, this is a lovely update, one of the best we've had. I will now open the...
Personal grievance, with the big payment.
Any debate? Nope. So I'll open the voting on that, item 15.
Say we're all reluctant to vote for this.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about it? Sorry, I didn't see. Someone had their hand up. Aaron, sorry, I didn't see.
Yeah, this is a weird one because I've enjoyed Mary's time as CE, and I will point out that I cannot remember, and I think it's last century was the last time a CE finished a term at this council. It is literally the worst job in Christchurch. Quite well paid at times, but it is, the salary's good, but that's not everything. Yeah. Well, I'm just being realistic. We're actually in a sweet spot right now, and so I will thank Mary for that. But I'm, to be honest, not looking forward to going back out to the market, going through that process, and then ending up with the position we'll potentially be in again, where the knives come out across the city for some reason to take out the council CEO, because it happens to this council every single time. And
that's one going.
So there's still time.
Getting out the door.
Yeah. So yes, maybe consider changing your mind, Mary.
Okay. No, thank you. We've tried that. Been there, tried that. Okay. So I'll now open the voting for number 15. Just receiving the update. I could have said aye. Okay. Righto. Tyler's just about ready to press a button of some sort. This is a good system. All good. Thank you. Voting's closed. That's all good. Thank you very much. So that is carried. So now we are going to go into PX to set out items page 129 and 130. I'm happy to move it, and Victoria's happy to second it. All those in favour? Aye, against, thanks, that's carried. So give us a couple of minutes to empty the room, and then we'll get into it. No, it's very good. I went to the